Hello everybody, today we're gonna talk about the polygamy in Iran. At the first, I wanna tell you the summary of its history, and then my friend Ali Reza will discuss about its perspective in the future. Polygamy comes from the late Greek word polygamos, means often married. Although it's a common thing to do in my country, Iran, it's a controversial issue in the other countries. Polygamy has been regarded as a part of Islamic religion in Iran, but the truth is that it had been practiced the ages before. And there are some evidence indicates that in the ancient Arabs, between ancient Arabs, it was a common thing to do that on that time, and it's not prohibited or discouraged. But in Iran, most of the males believe that the polygamy it's a good thing to do because the Quran recommended it. However, based on the Mr. Jackson research, the Quran does not recommend the polygamy, and the reason of polygamy on the time of Prophet Muhammad was that a lot of male died in the war, so the other males tried to support their family by marrying their wives and help them to raise their children and help them in their financial problem. Unfortunately, based on the research in Iran, the ratio of polygamy in Iran was 2% in 2002, and it shows that many MPs and the other Iranian males have second wife. In 2008, the group of women's rights activists tried to change the civil bills regarding polygamy, but unfortunately they couldn't make that, and after that they tried to show the Iranian parliament how hard is to live for the children who are the result of the polygamy marriage, because it's hard for them to enjoy the facilities of the educational services and get the ID card without the permission of their father.
Well, as Romina has already mentioned that in the past people were more likely to choose polygamous relationship regarding the fact that the society was dominated by patriarchal beliefs, which is somehow followed by Islamic theory, in which women in a relationship play a marginal role, and their opinion would not be considered as important as men, and so men would be like, I could get married as much as I feel I need it, whether a woman would like it or not in some cases. For example, if a wife didn't satisfy her husband, then her husband could get married again without a permission. And that's where the problem begins. Besides, polygamy has been firmly followed by Islamic ideology, in which this practice has been identified as a legal arrangement in Iran to such an extent that it had been a cultural norm in some parts of Iran where poverty was evident by the time of modernity. However, with the globalization, this practice has been strongly condemned by so many Iranian people, although these so-called Islamic norms, of having more wives is still considered morally ethical by the government. Not to mention that the increase in a level of education has a major impact on, women, not only women but also men, to seek out the romantic monogamous relationship rather than involving in a polygamous relationship, which could bring out the worst in our lives. Nowadays, polygamy in Iran is so rare in comparison to so many Islam countries, particularly in Africa, because so many feminists, so many movements fight over the right to abolish this practice, so that they reach equality in this case. Personally, I believe that the polygamy theory will be fading out in the near future, at least in Iran.